92.7 FM, KASR.
Glover Insurance Agency in Carlisle and Lone Oak is a hometown independent agency established in 1958. Family owned, we've been serving needs of the Lone Oak County citizens and the Grand Prairie for all types of automobile, homeowners, business, recreational vehicle, and life insurance. Glover Insurance Agency is an independent agency representing over 25 A-rated companies, including Allstate, Travelers, Hartford, MetLife, and Safeco. Glover Insurance Agency is owned and operated by Robin Glover Roundtree and is located at the old train depot in Carlisle and on Front Street in Lone Oak.
An old saying goes, you can never be too polite. Why not put it to the test during National Courtesy Month? We have more on the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Wednesday, September 11th, the 254th day of the year. Musician Harry Connick Jr. celebrates a birthday, and it is Patriot Day, the anniversary of the 2001 terror attacks. It could be that we've been in the right places at the right times, but we've been noticing more random acts of courtesy lately. Things like allowing skips in the grocery line, loaning an umbrella in a rainstorm, and more pleases and thank yous. Being courteous, it turns out, is not an entirely selfless act. Psychologists say that kind acts cause the brain to release endorphins, providing the giver with an immediate reward. It's not nearly as strong as the endorphin rush provided by smartphones, apparently, but we can dream. September is National Courtesy Month. Why not do something kind? That is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Learn more at almanac.com.
And now, a thought from Geico Motorcycle. It took 15 minutes to take a spirit animal quiz online.
Please be the cheetah. Please be the cheetah.
And learn your animal isn't the cheetah, but the far less appealing blobfish.
Oh, come on.
To add insult to injury, you could have used those 15 blobfish minutes to switch your motorcycle insurance to Geico.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance.
Get your 100% cash bonus now at SkybookUSA.com. SkybookUSA.com makes wagering fun and easy. SkybookUSA.com. SkybookUSA.com is the home of the free half points, helping you beat the odds and spreads. Visit SkybookUSA.com and place a wager on live sports and casino action from your computer or mobile device. Get your 100% cash bonus now at SkybookUSA.com. Put your money where your mouth is. Your team played and you got paid. SkybookUSA.com. Players responsible for state, federal, and applicable laws.
Catch every score on the CSN High School Football Scoreboard Show every Friday night from 10:06 p.m. till 12 midnight, and also on Saturday mornings from 7 a.m. till 8 a.m. on the Creative Sports Network. Every week we'll have all the scores, interviews with coaches, game recaps with our reporters, plus in-depth look at the CSN Game of the Week and the CSN Upset of the Week. Be sure to listen to the oldest high school football scoreboard show in Arkansas since 1977. Right here on KASR 92.7 FM, Arkansas Sports Radio, and on the web at KASRFM.com.
A place for mom.
To speak with a local senior living advisor, call a Place for Mom at 800-871-8852. That's 800-871-8852.
And we have returned to listening to CSE Talk Radio. This is Beth Ann. As we were going into the break, I was explaining that, as Mindy was telling the story, we're going to get back to that. We talk about our First Amendment and we talk about our Second Amendment, but have you read all of them? The Eighth Amendment, and I just read a shortened version of it, so I'm going to read the script of it now. You know, they're not very long, but they're packed with power. The Eighth Amendment, excessive bail shall not be required nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. We see this day in and day out against the citizens, to where it absolutely ruins their lives. I'm going to go back to Mindy.
We were prepared to prove Keith's innocence and the well-being of his animals beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. We had that opportunity, and we were not allowed to be heard. Our side was not allowed. Our defense was shut down by this judge.
Tell him what he said to the very
well,
next.
when Keith's attorney basically stood up to deliver his opening remarks of defense and mentioned that Keith had been in compliance and just passed a inspection just 6 days prior with flying colors, the judge slammed down his gavel and said, USDA is irrelevant. I don't want to hear about his clean inspection report. I don't want to hear it. It doesn't matter. The concerning, as we've talked about many times on your show, and I can't impress this enough on your listeners, there's another invasion that's taking place across our country, and it's people who hate our Constitution. They hate our American way of life. Your listeners are probably asking, okay, why would law enforcement, why would all these people be doing this and stealing someone's animals unless there was an issue? Why would they be taking animals? This was a hostile overtaking and an organized theft of Keith Wilson's private property and all of his animals to do two things. A lot of the animals likely went into what are called sanctuaries, which in the general public's view sounds like, a lovely place for animals, but most sanctuaries are owned by the animal rights groups. And they want to shut down any breeding programs or conservation programs for animal breeding and education and the propagation of species, number one. Number two, it's very important for people to understand that these seizures take place all the time to chip away and erode at our Constitution, as you have just been referring to the Eighth Amendment, and other amendments certainly apply. Our Constitution is constantly being eroded through a legislative attack, which I've talked about before as we tried to stop animal rights-driven legislation at the local, state, and federal level. They're doing all of this under the cloak and disguise of animal welfare, and nothing could be further from the truth. What happened to Keith's animals had nothing to do with the animals. These people don't care about animals. And this whole thing was a complete, crafted, organized theft the day that his animals were seized. As you pointed out, they had planned this for months. This was organized. And by the way, it's important for your listeners to also know that leading up to this horrible day, PETA had been harassing Keith Wilson and his operation, his park, for years. Years of aggressive harassment and threats were happening. PETA employees would show up and take pictures that were later taken out of context. All the harassments through the media. The media has been painting Keith Wilson and his wild animal park with such a broad brush of the other side's purview, and never a chance for things to be, for the truth to be delivered. And that's really the stage that was set in court that day on August 29th. So now, raise enough money not only to cover the bond, but also legal fees and so forth, and you can go to GoFundMe under Support Wilson's Wild Animal Park Legal Defense. It's on the Cavalry Group website, and also the Cavalry Group Facebook page. You can access that GoFundMe there. But this is something that we have to see through. They want to make it so that the person feels helpless and overwhelmed, and there's no way that I can possibly ever, meet the demands, the ransom demands that they have set forth for his animals. He wants his animals back. He wants his life back. You know, if your listeners are asking why, they've just taken this man's ability to make a living away from him. They've stolen not just his animals, but his entire life. And, you know, imagine what that must feel like to wake up one day and all of a sudden your entire ability to make a living is gone. It's been stolen from you under false premises and complete lies. They fabricated everything here. And quite frankly, you know, again, we're always being thrown into defense mode. His animals were well cared for. His animals were in great condition. He had oversight and in compliance reports to prove it. But again, where is this hand-wringing over these animal-related businesses? When is it going to stop? And when are we going to realize that we need to point our attention into things that are much more important? But that's why this is so important, such an important case, because these things are happening to people every single day, as you pointed out. His livelihood is gone. His life has been ruined, and most Americans won't even know that it's happening, which is why your show is so important, so that people can hear what's happening here.
You might help me with my memory. We had the young boy here in Missouri. They took his rabbits.
Yep.
And punished him. We had, and I've forgotten her name, but she was in another state, and I want to say her last name was Bell. They took her back.
Yeah, Debbie Bell out of Colorado. Mm-hmm.
There was the gentleman who had the collection of raccoons.
Yep.
Wasn't it raccoons that he had?
Yes,
they took his.
We intercepted an illegal seizure there, and
the young woman.
Yeah.
The young woman, of which I cannot understand why, but she has a love for bears, and she had her bears, and they took bears. They took the exotic animal people's tigers, I do believe. I think that was it's my memory. They've gone after the circuses. They've gone after the magicians who wanted to pull a rabbit out of the hat. They go after the horse and carriage people, because they want the property. It's all about property. It's all about money. And if you think for one iota of a second that these animal rights people care about the animals, well, what about Mr. Jenkins, was it Jennings or Jenkins, in Nebraska? They put his horse down, euthanized it, cut it open right there in front of his grandkids. Oh yeah, it is sick. I told you it was sick. It was under the vet's care. It had the black beetle, the blister beetles that they get from some of the hay. They just constantly go after people. And
it happens to be innocent until proven guilty.
It's not there, is it? Even, unfortunately, I'm going to speak to the listeners here a second. We're guilty. We listen to mainstream media. I mean, oh my gosh, look what this man did. He must have done something wrong. He must have abused the animals. While that does happen from time to time, the cases we bring to you are not that. These are people who make their livelihood from them. They're not somebody that put them in a barn and left them there and didn't feed them or water them. These folks care for their animals, and I hear the music. We're going into a break. I'm just not going to take phone calls. It's so important to get this message out. GoFundMe for Keith Wilson. It's on the Cavalry Group's page. It's on their Facebook page. You can go to their page by clicking on mine, and it's thecavalrygroup.com or csdtalkradio.com. Folks, we have a problem here in the United States, and we the people, to stand up for what is right. And we will be right back.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. That's 800-378-3212.
Hi, I'm Joan London. If you're worried about your parent or loved one living alone, like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service.
Finding an apartment that was on the courtyard with the view of the trees, the view of the ducks, the stream, the creek, all of that, that was what I needed.
You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information. Here's the number.
To speak with a local senior living advisor, call A Place for Mom at 800-871-8852. That's 800-871-8852.
A Place for Mom is a free service, and you can trust them to help you. So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
To speak with a local senior living advisor, call A Place for Mom at 800-871-8852. That's 800-871-8852.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow. For the longest time, I wanted to come out with the world's most comfortable bed sheets. But up until now, I haven't been able to find anything that held up to my high standards. I finally found the best cotton in the world in a region where the Sahara Desert, the Nile River, and the Mediterranean Sea all come together to create the ideal weather conditions for growing cotton. My new Giza Dream bed sheets are made with this long staple cotton, and I guarantee they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
The Giza Dream sheets are available in a variety of colors, and like all of Mike's products, they come with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. Right now, you can get your very own by calling 1-800-978-6168 and use the promo code BethAnn to get 30% off plus free shipping. Made in America is more than just a slogan. It's a brand we all look for to better this nation's economy. Liberty Tabletop is the brand of Sherrill Manufacturing, the only manufacturer of flatware in the United States of America. Liberty Tabletop creates high-quality flatware at a competitive price using the finest quality 1810 chromium nickel stainless steel. Oh, and by the way, the steel they use is also made in the USA. The steel is tested for lead and other toxic trace elements, so you bring to your family a safe and pure product that will last for generations. Setting your table is an important part of every meal. The patterns you choose say something about you and your family. Bringing America home with LibertyTabletop.com, or go to my website, CSETalkRadio.com, and click on their link. Call Liberty Tabletop at 844-386-2338. Use the promo code BethAnn and receive 10% off your purchase. LibertyTabletop.com.
And we have returned to listening to CSE Talk Radio. This is Beth Ann. Mindy and I fight every day for liberties and for our freedom and for our Constitution and for justice. She sees it, and she sees it right there. She's boots on the ground. She gets these calls from her members when they're in trouble, whether it's the USDA or the HSUS or PETA or whoever's on their property or brought somebody on their property. It's it can be devastating after a while, can't it, Mindy, and discouraging.
It's very discouraging. I think the most discouraging thing is that, the rule of law, which you and I have talked about being tucked away, when we were campaigning for President Trump and needing to hopefully turn the ship around, 3 years into his administration now, and, we still have a lot of work to do. And what's really discouraging, quite honestly, is realizing that many Americans don't know the blessing of freedom that we have and that we've been so privileged to live in. And, the rule of law provides that Americans are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law based on facts and evidence, not emotion and conjecture. And that's really all that Michelle Welch and her task force team had, was emotion and conjecture. They had no facts or evidence that these animals were in imminent danger. None. And unfortunately for animal owners and animal-related businesses today, this is becoming way too prevalent. And these animal rights extremists are always using false claims of animal abuse and anonymous tip lines to convince these overzealous prosecutors and sympathetic judges to issue these warrants when in most cases there's no facts or actual witness evidence to provide or obtain a warrant. And that's the other thing that Keith's attorney was going to challenge in his defense, was he was going to challenge the warrant and did not have that opportunity. The judge just shut him down.
And you and I spoke the other day, and I was saying it's time. It's time that we win some of these battles, and then we turn the table around and go after somebody like Michelle Welch, who went after them. She deliberately went after Keith Wilson. She plotted it, she planned it, she did everything against the Constitution, against the Bill of Rights, illegally.
Yep.
She went after this man and his business. And the proof that they don't really care about the animals and that they're just out to be bullies is the fact that they went ahead and took his assistant's puppy dog too.
Yep, that's
that
right.
Just did. You talk about a slap in the face. Oh yeah? Well, I'll take this too. Well, why don't you just take, the letter opener off of my desk and my stapler and take everything else in the office? It's just being a bully, and it just infuriates me. And I know
he was a law-abiding American who was running a park, an animal park, was not doing anything illegal, and they treated him, like I said, like a thug. And all his rights just flew out the window. If they can do this to Keith Wilson, they can do this to anyone. They can come for your kids. They can come for your home. They can come for any of your property. This was frightening. And the most important thing along with that is that this case sets a really important precedent. All of a sudden, saying that you're in compliance with those who are assigned with being your regulatory agent and inspecting your animal enterprise, all of a sudden this case is saying that, oh, you know what, being in compliance doesn't really matter. That the fact that you jump through all these hoops to, stay in compliance and be within the law of the agencies that oversee your animal enterprise doesn't matter. It's not there to protect you after all, because those who have an agenda can use the law against you and steal your stuff. Our facts and evidence were not allowed to be presented in a court of law. That should really send a chill down everyone's spine. In addition to the fact that USDA and quite honestly, he'd even had oversight from the Department of Agriculture in Virginia, in the Commonwealth of Virginia at other times, evidently didn't have any bearing whatsoever. And although supported by those regulatory agencies, they were
really come down on them. And like I said, Michelle Welch, when all this is said and done, we need to go after her personally in a legal way. We need to make sure this woman doesn't do this again.
Agreed. It's just been such a terrible ordeal. This kind of thing has happened to many other people, as you mentioned, but this is happening on our watch right now. It's just really scary. And so I say to your listeners, stay tuned. Please support Keith Wilson's appeal. He's doing this not just for himself, but everyone. This sets a really important precedent across the country for all animal owners and animal-related businesses, for all property owners. He's willing to, stick his neck out and fall on the sword and file this appeal to make sure that justice is served, not just for himself, but for everyone. I think it's really remarkable. Keith is, through the years, has become a really good friend, and so this has become personal too for me, because he's a really terrific individual, and I know that he has done everything to do everything above reproach, and this feeling of injustice that has taken place is just, it cannot stand. It can't stand.
It's amazing to me how many of us here, and I'm gonna talk to myself as well. We just turn our backs because we think, well, it doesn't affect. If you're listening and you don't own an animal, and you think this doesn't affect you, you better start thinking again. What else do you have that they don't want you to have? You know, climate change, that's an existential threat. No, it's not. But the threat is them because they want to come after you. They don't want you to own property. They don't want you to have freedom, but they do want your money. They want you taxed. They want to tax you for everything. But here, this man, he paid his taxes. He jumped through the hoops. He did what they told him to do.
Yep.
And the gavel went down and said, I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So we need to fight for this man. We need to fight for this man. What did you
We're
say?
the serfs. These instances, by the way, as you just pointed out, have become a big payday for the animal rights extremists and organizations that are out there to raise money from these circumstances. They're raising money on the back of this false claim and tragedy. And oftentimes, when they confiscate animals, they'll end up selling them, or in their words, rescuing a dog.
Euthanizing it. And we are out of time. Folks, we need you to come together to bring justice and to bring America home.
If you bought Nike or Adidas shoes lately, I'm sorry. Sorry that you didn't just get yourself some Skechers, because Skechers have all the performance and comfort you could ever dream of for less. Just ask Skechers elite runner Edward Cheserek, who tied the world record for the fastest 5K, or the nurse who's comfortable on her feet all day thanks to Skechers air-cooled memory foam, or people wearing Skechers Go Walks who feel like they're walking on clouds. They'll all say no shoes perform better and are as comfortable as Skechers. Find Skechers at a Skechers store near you or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
You know who we are, you know where we are. But did you know that Merchants of Planters Bank has been a community bank since 1946? And we were originally founded by a group of farmers and business owners because they wanted a bank of people that knew them and understood their community. Did you know that today Merchants of Planters Bank employees are the company's largest shareholders? And we're still so thankful to live in and serve this great community of folks who work hard, play harder, and are filled with Prairie County pride. I'm Paul Dixon with Merchants of Planters Bank, wishing the Eagles a safe and successful season and inviting you to come grow with a bank that will never outgrow you. Merchants of Planters Bank, Eagle Housing Limited,
Here's your Jill on Money question of the day.
Harry from Arizona asks, I feel like I'm not doing a good job of paying down my student loans with the income-based strategy I selected. Are there any apps you'd recommend for helping to pay down these loans? The student loan crisis is real. I hear from viewers and listeners all the time about the struggles they endure. I wish I could have spoken to you when you were in high school, but we can't turn back the clock now. I presume that you have a handle on your spending and your cash flow, which is key to taking control over that debt. Apps like Mint, You Need a Budget, and Clarity Money can be helpful in the process.
Have a question? Go to JillOnMoney.com to send an email.
Zoom video conferencing, featuring video and audio clarity with screen sharing. Free accounts are available at zoom.us. That's zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing. Are you ready to get in the game? With the Chiefs Football Radio Network, you can win a VIP game day experience, including parking, tailgating, and tickets to watch Mitch Holtis and Kendall Gambit in action, all courtesy of Shelter Insurance. Visit shelterinsurance.com/get-in-the-game to learn more information and to register for your chance to win. Shelter Insurance. For your auto, home, and life, we're your shield. We're your shelter.
If you'd like to stay up to date on what's happening in Arkansas's great outdoors, we've got just the thing for you, and it won't cost a penny. It's our free email newsletter, Arkansas Outdoors. It's published each Wednesday and sent directly to your inbox. It's packed with the latest information on hunting, fishing, and other outdoor activities. To subscribe to this free newsletter, just go to our website, agfc.com, and choose the Resources tab. Then click on e-newsletters. Or you can call us at 1-800-364-GAME. It's that easy to stay informed about what's happening in the outdoors.
We salute these patriot.
Hi, this is Beth Ann, and you're listening to CSE Talk Radio on Arkansas Sports Radio 92.7 FM KASR.
This is CBS News on the Hour. Real news, real reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. President Trump vows to keep up the pressure on the Taliban in Afghanistan as he takes part in 9/11 ceremonies at the Pentagon, and he took aim at the attack masterminds, Al Qaeda.
They thought they would use this attack to show strength, but actually what they showed is unrelenting weakness.
18 years after it all, CBS's Mara Rubin has more on the solemn scene honoring victims at New York's Ground Zero.
Carlos, Mario,
Teresa Munson. The reading of the names paused 6 times, marking when the hijacked planes struck the North and South Towers, when they fell, and when the Pentagon was attacked, and United Airlines Flight 93 crashed near Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
A lawyer for New England Patriot star Antonio Brown promises a countersuit. He has been sued by his former trainer, a 31-year-old woman alleging rape. Moments ago, the team's head coach, Bill Belichick.
We've looked into the situation. We're taking it very seriously, all the way through the organization.
Virginia now has joined the list of states suing Purdue Pharma or members of the family that owns the giant opioid maker. CBS's Mola Lengi.
A bankruptcy filing.
Josh got this.
Smaller payouts for plaintiffs in more than 2,000 lawsuits against the company. A source close to the negotiations tells CBS News that
Josh got this. We're going to pay $250 to these assholes.
Tallahassee police say several people were stabbed at an industrial plant this morning. A suspect is in custody. Some popular
Josh got this invoice from Auburn, so we're going to pay last year's $250. And then I'm going to tell them we're going to pay the rest between now and the end of the year. Because we're waiting for our football money to come in. We didn't realize that y'all were going to, we thought it was barter, didn't realize y'all were going to charge us for stuff. When you get back, we'll cut a hole on this.
Josh be the one to cut a hole. I don't have a measure.
Okay. All I need is a whole cut, and I can do the rest here today.
12:30. I mean, Coach mentioned that Monday.
Okay. I leave here at 11:45 or 11:30 if I was you.
That do?
Yeah, that'd be good, son. Josh,
Yeah.
you want for company? You want me to have Kimmy ride down there with you?
No.
You sure? You need some money, son? Hey, Josh,
What?
would you like to have your check today?
No.
You got any money?